All right, we got a good one right here. Woman filming cops arrested on bogus gun charges. Bronx woman falsely arrested for filming the cops. Check it out.
A Bronx woman was falsely arrested for filming the police. They said she had a gun. She did not. We now have the proof. Let's go to the video, okay? Through the wrongful arrest lawsuit shows the young woman never had a gun, just like she said. It was planted there by the police.
Yeah, the cops planted that gun. They planted evidence.
Is what happened.
That's what cops get away with, too. They'll plant, like, weapons and drugs and shit like that.
You know, the police, they don't really plant evidence. Contrary to fact is your statement.
Right there.
Not only did this police plant a gun, just a few days ago, I reported on the Chicago cop that framed over 200 people. That's what they know about on the record. He likely framed thousands in his career as a law enforcement agent in Chicago. And they were well
and I remember years ago, about 20 to 30 years ago, five police were doing that shit.
Discipline him.
Planting drugs and weapons and shit like that. Oh, you got drugs in the car.
New York Daily News, Aeneas Pagan alleges in court papers filed last month in Bronx Supreme Court that cops set her up when she was an 18-year-old high school senior. I feel like you can never recover from a situation like this because once it's happened, you always have that thought in the back of your mind, said Pagan, now 22 and working at Target and as a home care aide. Please think about this. At 18 years of age, your worldview is still developing.
Yeah.
You are recording
in the eyes of the law, you're an adult, but you're still developing.
You have the legal right to do. This police officer then proceeds to arrest you. And not only arrest you, but plant a gun on you. You maintain your innocence from day one. Let's put up stills from the video. Okay? If you look down, you will see the foot of the officer. That is the move in order to plant the weapon. The .22 caliber handgun police said she possessed was found to have neither her fingerprints. It did not have her DNA on it.
Exactly. Her DNA doesn't lie.
Noted in an April 26th filing. Pagan had never been arrested. She had never been arrested before the encounter with cops on Fulton Avenue near Claremont. She says the ordeal began when she recorded police arresting her cousin, Joshua Freeman, for possession of a gravity knife and marijuana. So the cops got angry at Miss Pagan and put her in handcuffs, she recalled. A criminal complaint alleged that she adjusted her waistband as cops approached. When an officer tried to stop her, a .22 caliber gun fell from a waistband to the sidewalk, the complaint states. She was charged with criminal possession of a firearm, which carries a maximum of 4 years in prison. There's more to this story.
Here we go.
NYPD detective Richard Clary, who said in court papers he saw the gun drop from Pagan's waistband on February 8th, 2019, has been found by judges in 2 separate cases to have given unreliable testimony. In other words, the judges said he's a lying SOB. Yep. Don't trust him.
That's what cops do. They stick together and do
cops claimed a confidential informant told them that Pagan had a gun, prompting the arrest. All right? The attorney told the Daily News his client's arrest was a classic case of planted evidence. The suit filed June 2020 has been delayed by the pandemic and city attorney's failure to comply with court-ordered deadlines. Judge Mitchell Danziger slapped the city with sanctions and a $2,000 fine in February for repeated failure to comply with this court's orders. The reason they're not complying is because they know it's a bogus arrest. Last month, the attorney submitted a motion for grand jury minutes to determine if any of the officers involved in the arrest lied under oath.
Oh, yeah.
The motion includes a detailed rundown of questions surrounding the case. There's more. Ms. Pagan had to show up to court roughly 12 times before the charges were completely dismissed a year later. She missed so much school, she graduated late. The charges were also dismissed against Pagan's cousin, who sued and won, settled for $30,000.
Good for her.
Let's put up a picture of the chief because they're not giving us information on all of the officers involved. That's the chief, NYPD Chief Kenneth Corey. The NYPD doesn't comment on cases with pending litigation, and it refused to answer any questions about the incident. Additionally, the city has denied any wrongdoing. There's somebody who can actually still prosecute. Let's put up the picture of the Bronx District Attorney.
Here we go.
Darcel Clark. Ms. Clark can prosecute if she chooses. Okay? A spokeswoman for the DA said the charges against Freeman and Pagan were dismissed because a civilian witness was not available to testify. The spokeswoman also said that because the cases were sealed, she could not answer further questions about Pagan's arrest, including whether prosecutors were aware of Clary's checkered history. Isn't this something?
Yeah.
Why is the cop not in jail?
Yeah. Why is that cop not fired?
It's against the law.
Yeah.
Okay?
He committed a
Why
crime.
is he still free to do this? A judge cited him twice and said, you know that guy, he lies. And what's the context of a judge saying a cop lies? The context is he lies under oath because he's lied in my courtroom. You got to think about this. You know what lying under oath is? That's right, it's a crime. He's still a cop.
It's perjury.
He's still the police. Judges are saying
when you're lying, that's
he's
called contempt of
criminal.
court. That's a crime.
The video says he is criminal, but the DA, the chief of police, the attorney general, he may have had a bad day. Until we remedy this, we will continue to have this us and them relationship between community and cop. And it's not the community's fault. The communities are victims of these out of control police officers. Adrian, thoughts on this case?
No, I think that we clearly know what the officer was trying to do in terms of intimidate this woman and keep her from documenting his misconduct. But the fact that she suffered such that she had to miss so much of her life and the consequences that came with that, it makes you wonder, who's really the criminal here? Because you clearly are employing a criminal who is lying on the stand, who is seeking charges against individuals who did not commit crimes and taking away their civil rights. And yet the fact is that he's still protected. The fact is that he is not facing consequences at all. It really just shows you that there's a reason why so many of us lack faith in the system, because it is entirely broken and it's to our detriment when we try to hold it accountable. And the fact is that the DA needs to stand up and do what's right so that this individual doesn't cost us more money, because there are going to be civil rights lawsuits lining up and settlements being paid, and that'll be out of the individual's pocket. So not only is he infringing upon our rights as citizens, but also he's taking money out of our pocket, and yet the system continues to have him in place and to pay him with our money.
That's right. Listen, it's real simple, Madam DA. You always stand with the one who brought you to the party. Who brought you to the party? The police didn't bring you to the party. I looked at your campaign literature. You ran on a platform of transparency, accountability, police reform, criminal justice reform. The people who voted for you brought you to the party. Now that you're at the party, don't turn your back on the folks that got you there.
Yeah. And this is why I always preach and say, if you're out there dealing with the cops, film the police. You have your right. You have your God-given First Amendment right to do so, as long as you're on the public sidewalk or in the street or an establishment of an area. If a cop tells you to, turn off your camera, stop filming, red flag should go up in your head thinking, he's hiding something. Because it is your right, especially when you get encountered by the cops, you have every right to film them. Because cameras don't lie, ladies and gentlemen. And this is another case of Happy Fuck the Cops Day. And with that said, I'm out here, Mike. Y'all peace out.